Well, here we go. Here's the latest episode of PBR with Nate. Cheers to y'all. Had a pretty good day. Made some people's lights work. Stuff like that. I enjoyed it. Although it hurts sometimes, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. Producing. So, anyway. On today's episode, I'm not going to get into too much with with the impeachment, with State of the Union, with whatever else. I want to just talk a little bit about sort of the background, the history of what shaped my thoughts and my principles and whatever else. I can tell you this, from the time I was able to vote, I have always voted Republican. I would not sit here and say, identify. I sound like I'm not transitioning, I'm sorry. I would not call myself necessarily a Republican. I believe in the Constitution. A constitutionalist. And it just so happens that from the time that I was able to vote up until now and possibly even beyond, the candidates that have sort of most closely lined up with that have been Republicans as far as I'm concerned. So that was from 18 to I'm 46 now, so wow, good God. So anyway, now I will tell you this. I have not been a good guy. I really haven't. I've most of the people that subscribe to this channel and that know me know all of this stuff, but for those of you who are seeking and just sort of perusing YouTube or whatever, I've been to prison. I'm a convicted felon. I've done plenty of things I'm not proud of. I have I have had a lot of problems with authority in my life. You can ask my mama about that. And that brings me to this. Family. Now, I don't want to take anything away from my mother. My mother has sacrificed pretty much in her entire life and her sanity for me. My mother always did, no matter what, my mother always did what was best for me when she was raising me. So, yeah, I'm kind of a mama's boy. You don't mess with my mama, is what I mean. I love my mama to death. She raised me the best she knew how. I kind of feel like the Merle Haggard song, Mama Tried. Because Mama damn sure did try. She busted her ass and gave every ounce of who she is to raise me. And me, like many other children on the face of this planet, just kind of threw that back in her face. As if it didn't matter. But you know what? She never stopped. Ever. Ever. Still doesn't. Mama still sees me as her baby. Because I'm her only baby. So, and I've been married 3 times. Now I've got a family and 2 kids. And Mama still sees me as her baby. So, and I love that. And I cherish that. And I appreciate it. And I love my mama. But I'm going to tell you this. And this came up in the past couple of days because this came into my thoughts in the past couple of days because of an announcement that was made by a very famous person who is in stage 4 cancer and who is hearing impaired. That person, of course, is Rush Limbaugh. Now, a lot of you who will watch this, all of you who will watch this, you have your thoughts and your opinions about Rush. There are some of you that absolutely hate him. There are some of you that absolutely love him. Then there's those that are in between, whatever. You have your opinions about Rush. I'll say this about Rush. Rush, regardless of what you hear on air, is that bragging and, with half my brain tied behind my back and talent on loan from a god. All of that is absolute. You have to look at it. It's kind of self-deprecating. Rush was not college educated. He didn't do that. He didn't like the classroom or anything else. And if you listen to other people who know Rush and who have been friends with Rush, and they say that he is completely the opposite of that. Rush is trying to put on a radio show and be entertaining and trying to hold an audience while he gets his point across. So you have to be able to hold that audience. And in order to hold that audience, you have to have some sort of shtick or whatever. So that's what it is. But I'm not even talking about that. So the first time I came across Rush was when he had his TV show. Now, he'd been doing radio for a while, and this is when he started kind of making it big and whatever. So, I paid attention to that. And I was fascinated because I was entertained, but at the same time, I could understand what he was saying. He got the point across, but he wasn't ramming something down my throat. He was helping me to understand that, I could think for myself, and he was helping me to understand something that I really wasn't being taught widely in school, and that is liberty, the Constitution. What does that all mean to all of us? And so I'm sort of fascinated, and I guess that sort of broke the dam, and brought this about, which is woefully inadequate. But I will say this. That influence to be introduced to Rush came from another great black sheep in my family. Possibly even greater than I. Just didn't get caught as much as I did. To you. My Aunt Cheryl, fantastic woman, lived a long life before she was ever 30. I've already had a conversation with her about this, so I'm not going to go into it. I can just say this: she was the black sheep. She had a major influence on me without even meaning to. She didn't know she had some sort of crazy influence on me. She loved me to death. I was her only nephew. So she loved me to death. And she was young, and she was young when I was born and all that. So you can get it. I mean, she was marrying bikers and freaking going to Alamogordo, New Mexico. I mean, all of that. She was doing all of that in the 70s, and and it was just freaking cool. She didn't know it, but she does now, but she didn't know it, but I saw my first Easy Riders magazine that she had. That was an eye-opener. She had it scared the crap out of me, but she had the Meatloaf Bat Out of Hell album. The cover of that thing, when you're a little kid, is scary as hell. She had that stuff. Man, it was so freaking cool. God, it was so cool. And so, it's that kind of thing. So I was fascinated by my Aunt Cheryl, and of course she went through the 80s, and you can imagine, a biker chick, and, who's digging, the Allman Brothers and that sort of culture, and that kind of thing, and married the Hells Angels, and these guys, and those guys, and who knows what else. I don't want to know. I have my ideas, but I don't want to know. Because I know where I've been. So, it was just that kind of, she has lived that kind of life. And so coming from that in the 70s and 80s and being that black sheep and doing the things that she's done and experiencing that and being a part of that culture and that, I don't know, just out there living that 1% lifestyle, to get to the point of where she is it's amazing. But I digress. And because she had that kind of influence on me at that young age, it carries a profound weight. It has carried a profound weight with me. In that, when her life turned around, she, all of a sudden, it's a complete change. She's in church. She's this and she's that, and she proudly says, that she really, truly, honestly, through all of that, she came to know Christ. And it had a profound impact on her. So it wasn't like I won't say it's a knee-jerk reaction, the way that she's living now or anything else. I will say that it's a wisdom that comes from living the life that she lived before and understanding that life and being such a big part of that life. Whether, the good times and the good, hard partying, happy times and the down in the dumps times that life takes you to. The wisdom that she had out of that has helped to mold her into the person that she is now after coming to understand what Christ has done. So that influenced me because I've been in trouble a lot. Way too many times. Way too many times. And so she was the one that introduced me to Rush. And then it wasn't many years after that I realized that, even though I grew up in church and whatever else, that, I didn't really understand. I didn't really understand that. I didn't understand. I mean, I knew the buzzwords and this, that, and other, and I knew the songs and whatnot, but it was through her life and through her example that led me to actually understand and to really acknowledge and to say, hey, all this stuff that I knew before is just smoke and mirrors. So now the scales have been cleaned off my eyes, and I trusted in the fact that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. So, and I there you go. I mean, that's it. All your heart, soul, mind, and strength, right? If you confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, well, there you go. And I honestly, really, beyond a shadow of a doubt, believe that. Now, yeah, I've gotten in trouble since then. I've done a lot of things I didn't want to since then. But, just because I know that don't mean that I'm still not human. I am. And will continue to be. I'd like to think that I've improved from day one to now, but nonetheless, so I really have to say thank you. And I said it to her on the phone, and I know it made her emotional. I try not to get emotional myself. I'm trying not to now. Because we did not arrive at these thoughts and beliefs because somebody just told us, because of some Russian, or because somebody just told us that this is what you got to do, or whatever else. We didn't arrive at that. I mean, we've lived that life. We've lived the life that leftists want us to live, and done that. We've been there and done that. And God, we didn't just get the t-shirt. We freaking designed the damn thing. We didn't arrive at the values that we have just because somebody said, well, you got to do this. No. We've lived our lives. And, we've lived hard. And, we've lived easy. I don't know anything about white privilege because, about as white as you can get. I don't know. I mean, where's that white privilege come from? I'm waiting on that card to come in the mail. I have to bust my ass every day for everything I got. And I'm happy to do it. But I really have to say that my Aunt Cheryl has been, whether she wanted to or not, throughout my life has been an amazing influence. And it's largely due to her. I mean, my mother, like I said, my mother. But what do mothers do? Mothers chase their kids around and try to make sure that they don't die. I mean, that's what they do. And thank God for my mother. If it hadn't been for my mother, I would be dead. I mean, Jesus. She's been amazing. Gosh, she's been amazing. And such a great grandmother to my kids. She's awesome. But my Aunt Cheryl, beyond a shadow of a doubt, has helped to mold my thought processes and my values and things such as that. And she did it completely inadvertently, just because she is who she is. Good or bad, she did that. And, regardless of what you think about Rush, he deserved what he got at the State of the Union. He deserved that medal. Regardless of what you think about Rush, you don't ever wish cancer on anybody. You don't wish opioid addiction on anybody, because especially in my circles, in the biker circles, in the old man circles, that can happen at any point in time. So, you know, I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for the times that I've heard Rush. There's been times I've disagreed with him, whatever else. I'm thankful for Rush, and I would never have heard of him or conservative talk radio or constitutional talk radio. I mean, there's a lot of conservatives I don't listen to because I don't agree with them, because I don't think they're conservatives, because I'm a constitutionalist. I believe in the Constitution. I'm not libertarian. I'm not, whatever. I'm not compassionate conservative. I'm not Republican. I believe in the Constitution of the United States of America. That's what I believe. And that's what shapes my political thoughts. Is that if the Constitution agrees with it, then I agree with it. If it don't, then I don't. So I don't care who you are in office. If I agree with you, it's because the Constitution does. If I don't, it's because the Constitution don't. So, but I guess just to thank you, Rush. Thank you, Rush, for all that you've done, and hope to hear you for many, many more years. I hope you beat this thing, and I'll be praying for that, as I know many people out there will. And some people will be praying the converse, but they should be shot. But nonetheless. But most of all, I think my Aunt Cheryl, the old biker chick, who was the first one to ever expose me to Harley Davidson motorcycles. And good old Randy Basham, who put me on the back of that old dadgum rattle trap Ironhead Sporty. Let me ride, and God Almighty, for better or for worse. Anyway, thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for all that you do. Don't regret the bad influences. Just understand that is all part of this thing that we call life. And I know you do, and I do. We believe in excuse me. We believe in a sovereign God, all powerful, all knowing, all present. So, those things that you would consider to be bad influences on me were for a reason. If it wouldn't have been for you, probably never would have grown this fantastic beard. Just saying. You had a hand in that. And this great ponytail back here. It's hard to see, but anyway, I love you, Cheryl. And to you, and to all that you've done, to all the influence you have, hopefully you have influence on many more. And to Rush Limbaugh, who is shaped since Reagan has been the voice of the conservative constitutional movement for years now. May you recover. May God bless you. Here's to y'all.